then what is the,
We're only streaming to 1 out of 2 platforms.
it's gonna take a second. I always let it, before I transition over, to the.
Now we're 2 out of 2. Okay.
And then actually, when you cut it off, at the end of the service, when you hit stop streaming, it'll still say that there's one,
Oh, okay.
even though there's not. So then, what is do we have a specific camera feed for webcam?
No. Well, yes, it's in there, but it's under Bell's Choir. That's the only one I've added it to.
And it's the stream webcam.
The stream webcam.
Honestly, not bad.
Not bad. Hello, those of you who are joining us. I don't know who you are yet, because I don't have my other computer started up. But we're going to do a live test this evening here. No need to, there's not going to be anything important or no information is going to be given to you here this evening. Those of you who watched our service on Sunday know that we had some issues. Our camera feed kept going out, so we bought some new equipment and we are testing it out. We want to make sure that we're not going to go and lose our camera feed on Sunday mornings because it wasn't fun. I'm not going to lie. Did we have a camera on us last?
No. Honestly, it was probably better.
We
were making some aggressive facials.
It was an interesting day on Sunday. Thank goodness that we bought walkie-talkies so that we could actually communicate with the computer and the camera person. But yes, if you've just joined us, again, I don't know who you are yet because I'm still firing up my other computer. Excuse me, but we're doing a live test. So we're just going to kind of hang out here live for a little bit here this evening. It is Alex and Amy Stahl coming to you live from the sanctuary. We've got all the lights on. It looks beautiful. All the organ pipes are in the back of the room. We've got ladders going up everywhere, extension cords. It's a lot of fun. So you can see Amy going over to the stream table there now. But yeah, we're just going to kind of hang out. So no need to stay with us. You can absolutely listen along. If you're wondering, well, what are we going to do during this live test? I tell you what, we haven't figured it out yet. We were talking about a couple different options. Hi, Marie. How are you doing? It's so good to see you. Marie, I have a question for you. So I saw your wonderful pictures on Facebook today, and that looks really, really cool. She has these, I think she made them her profile pictures, if you want to look on Facebook. But there's one picture of Marie and Nancy and John. We are testing for, we bought some new equipment. We bought some new cables and a new capture card. So we are essentially making sure that our camera feed is not going to go out on Sunday. As if you recall, last Sunday on Mother's Day, we had some issues. Every time we moved the camera, we lost the feed. That's why you saw a lot of flowery Happy Mother's Day background scenes. So, but no, I'm curious, is that a program that you used for those pictures, or did you just upload a picture and it did it for you? They look like oil paintings, and it's so lifelike. It looks really, really cool. So if you know the name of that, Marie, just pop it into the comments there. I think that was that looked pretty cool. So I'm pretty sure I liked it. Excuse me. All right, let's get my other computer going here. And let's see who is joining us this evening. If you're here and listening along, you're welcome to throw something in the comments. Again, we're just doing a live test this evening after both Amy and I have worked a full day. So we're just trying to see if our new equipment is going to fix the problems that we've had with the camera feed. So, all right, let's get that going there. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little nervous right now. I'm looking at Amy Stahl. She has a Sharpie and a piece of cardboard, and she's writing things down. And I think she's coming up with a game. She wants me to do some kind of charades. I don't know. I told her I'm not doing charades on a live stream. She says, yes, I am. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. But we've got 5 watching now. Thank you all for joining us. Again, just a live stream test that we're doing right now. Oh, it's a new app. Okay. She's going to get the name for us here. Oh, you're taping something to my back.
I sure am.
Fantastic.
It says kick me.
It says kick me. Excellent. Hello, Miss Charlotte. How are you this evening? Who's she? But no, that's a really cool. Yeah, I would like the name of that app because it looks really cool. Charlotte says thank you, Amy. Yeah, she heard you. Yeah, that's right. She heard you. So we're just going to kind of hang out here. Maybe we can show a little bit of how we produce things. We could do a screen share. I have Debbie Johnson's. Literally about 10 minutes ago, we got her scripture reading uploaded for this Sunday. We're going to do another scripture from home. Maybe we can show them how we make a video. I don't know.
Sure.
It's called New Profile Pic. Okay, for those of you who are listening, everyone needs to download the app New Profile Pic because it's really cool. I assume you upload a picture that you have to it, and then it kind of turns it into like an oil painting. It looks really cool. I'm not doing good at getting this other computer up and running here. I've been talking. And as those of you who know me know that I am not necessarily great at multitasking in the moment. Overall, sure, but in the moment. We need a podcast. You know what? We could probably do that. Can you make money off of a podcast? Could we raise money for the stream team?
Can, actually.
Because that would be pretty cool.
Y'all need a podcast. That's what I'm saying.
That would be pretty cool.
Am I on here?
Are
Should I
you?
turn this on?
You can turn that on. You are unmuted.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody can hear you.
We could totally do a podcast.
Absolutely. Our witty banter,
Oh.
back and forth.
It's too much. All right.
I love
All
it.
right,
Yes, it looks
let's
so cool.
see.
It looks so cool.
Let's
We could go.
add-
I know Charlotte's gonna look into TikTok for us and see what kind of content we could put on there.
Oh,
'Cause that's where the kids
she's
are.
the princess of TikTok.
That's where the kids are,
Yeah.
and we need kids. So, all right, let's get this computer going here.
Can't I just take this from camera feed 2 and turn it into, if I click it, can't I turn it
Oh,
into?
you're gonna change all the camera feeds.
No, because what was the one where you can screen share? What was the?
Oh no. If you go to the one that says test, I don't know if we
all the
deleted
way-
it or not. Yeah, it's at the
No.
bottom.
Oh, there it is, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna have to put the new camera feed on that one.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have to add a.
The cat.
I think it's a. Is it a browser? I'll have to figure it. I had it set up in the test, but it must have gotten
Display
deleted.
capture?
Display capture. Yes,
Look
that's
at-
what we want.
Look at me go.
We're gonna call it screen share. How about we
Screen
call it
share,
screen
yeah.
share? Because that's actually what it is. All right, let's see if I can see. No, I'm gonna need my phone to see who's actually
Desktop
all watching with us.
duplication?
What's that?
Windows 10, no. I wanna
For those of you who joined us and did not hear hard no, and who did not hear the beginning, we are just doing a live test here. We had some camera issues where the camera feed was going out, not so much in. It was mainly going out.
I don't think this is, because this is only giving them that screen. It's not.
We just have to change the display. Go to display 2. Nope, not that one.
This, oh, right here.
Yep.
Okay.
There. Oh, look at that. We haven't shared it yet, but yeah, that'll be. We're gonna have to minimize OBS in order to do. Or we could take it off of here. I don't want to do it all on there though. We'll just minimize OBS and I'll do it in Power Director. If we want, if
you wanna
we
make
want
the
to show
Debbie
them
John-
that.
You're talking about the making the Debbie video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that'll be
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, because that'll be, I mean, it's kind of, it doesn't actually look that bad. We're going to cut over. Ready? Everybody's about to watch what I look at.
Why don't we
Every
fade? Why don't we
single-
fade over?
Oh, God, Lord.
Just to
You
make it
and
a
your
little less
fade
abrupt. I
transition.
mean, cut is so abrupt.
There.
There's a nice fade. So this is actually our program. This is what we look at. I didn't finish my sentence earlier. I'm a little scatterbrained here this evening. We're doing a live test for those of you who've joined us. So we want to make sure that our camera feed works. We bought approximately $400 worth of new
Yeah.
equipment to make sure that this works for
penny,
us.
A pretty penny's worth. Actually, that doesn't look bad once you put something up on the side.
It doesn't. It's a little less in your
Yeah.
face.
So this is what I look at every single morning on Sundays. Excuse me. While we're getting everything ready. And so then this Sunday's scripture is actually going to be a recording from home. So we get to put that, and we get to make that today. So that's what we're about to make, because Miss Debbie Johnson will be gracing us with her readings. And so we gotta turn that into a finished video. So that's what we're gonna do here, because it takes a little while to do. Get out of there.
Okay, so I've logged into Facebook on my phone, and I can see two of the people that I already knew were here. There's Kelly, and she commented, so I guess I didn't need my phone at all. I was going to say the only three people I see are Charlotte, Marie, and Kelly. So if you're here, throw something in the comments. Just say hello, just so we know who we're talking to. But again, this is just a live test. Nothing important is going to be conveyed this evening. You're pretty much going to hang out with me and Amy.
Yeah.
Just kind of hanging out here for a little bit.
All right, let's
So
go.
it looks complicated. You know what? It can be.
It really can be.
It's relatively simple once you learn actually what you're doing. But we've been working with this program now for almost 2 years. It's a little over a year and a half.
Yeah.
I believe August.
Was she doing it?
of
Did she do it on her
2020.
porch?
She did it on her patio. Yes, it looks
cute.
real nice. So,
That's cute. That'll be nice.
yeah, that'll take a moment just to download.
But yeah, it can definitely be kind of complicated. It looks like a lot, but once you do it enough, you know what to look at. But I'd say, I mean, it took us and then the problem
Okay, so it took us like a week to figure out how to work it, but then it took us a year and a half to really actually get and we still don't use all the features. Like there is, I'm sure, probably plenty more things that we could do in a service.
And so we could just do a regular service pretty quickly, but then it's also figuring out like when something goes wrong. And you're seeing all of these different things, and your eye has to catch the one thing that goes wrong, which actually wasn't too difficult to do, because they kind of have like little flashers that pop up when something might not be working super properly.
They do give us notifications. Hello, Michelle. Thank you for joining us. It's so good to see you.
So it's always kind of a fun little adventure. All
yeah,
right.
exactly.
Let's go, 'cause it's less than a couple.
Are you going to do this, or am I going to do this?
I don't care.
Okay.
We can flip.
We'll work on it. We probably won't finish it on the live stream, but we can start a little bit. So if you guys can see, we just drag the video. I'm pointing, like you can see me pointing.
I'm using the cursor.
Oh boy. Yeah, okay, use the cursor. We dragged the video from up here where the pointer is now down to here, and you see the audio bar. So the video's on the top and the audio's on the bottom. You see how small that audio bar is? That means it's quiet. So we actually want to bump that almost all the way up to the top. Let's take a look and see what it looks like. Bring it up to the top and then down a little bit.
So
up to the top doesn't even clip
do it.
So we're going to bring it all the way up for us so we can hear Debbie.
Usually one of the indicators as to whether or not it's going to be a good volume, and we can fix some of it in post as well once we put it into the service order. One of the indicators here on like the volume little spikes, and that means that's her talking, is like the tips of them will get yellow if it kind of just peaks at that peak volume. So usually once we see a few...
Actually, open up the one I did last night from You Raised Me Up when I sang on Sunday.
Oh, because I knew that your volume went
I
crazy.
peaked that quite a bit.
You did.
There was quite a bit of yellow on that one.
But yeah, so that usually is the good indicator as to whether or not the volume is going to be like good, because we always say here that we prefer to, I'm going to name this real quick, we prefer to make it so that you guys would have to turn the volume down on your phones rather than not be able to hear and have to keep turning it up and it not work.
For those of you who remember when we first started live streaming, a lot of the time we got comments saying, we can't hear you, it's too quiet, there's background noise, we can't hear you. So a while ago, Amy and I made it our personal goals to make sure that we never hear that again. So our goal is to get it as loud as physically possible without actually distorting it, because I would love for all of you to have to turn your volumes down. As opposed to turning it all the way up and still not being able to hear it, because who is that enjoyable for? Not anybody at all. Did you save the other one by chance?
Yeah, I just did.
Okay, cool.
So then here's the one of Alex that we actually just posted. Go ahead, look at that. That's on our Facebook and our YouTube channel, and that's kind of rendering now. And
yeah, that'll take a moment.
So here's kind of what you saw with the Debbie thing, where it has the video up here and then it has audio down here. But we kind of added some stuff at the beginning and the end that usually says like the name of the piece and just kind of fades in and out so that it looks more like a finished little production. We can actually zoom in on it as well. Why won't it?
You can actually, if you scroll down, you can see all the layers that we used at the beginning.
Oh, you did another one
because
too.
There's quite a few layers on this one, as a matter of fact. If you go back to the beginning, you'll be able to see.
Yeah, nice.
So everything that you put up on a screen, you need to have a source for. So even if you want a black box, you need to add the black box to the screen. And then when you add the black box, then you need to put words on top of it. And then the order in which you put it in this program depends on what goes on top and what goes on bottom.
I think we should make a video I think we should make a screen capture video and then post it as like a behind the scenes, like how we make the service one day.
I was thinking of that too.
We should totally do that
I
now
think
that
we
kind
should.
of have all of the rest of our bearings together. We're trying to see what we should do for like auxiliary content on the YouTube channel. People seem to enjoy behind the scenes type of stuff and this type of stuff as well, because editing these videos, every single, like he's saying, every little thing has to be something that's input separately. And actually somebody, I think it was Amy Schultz, sent us this really funny thing that said like, I think a huge team from Pixar took like 3 weeks just to make
crazy.
one frame from Monsters Inc.
That's we get it.
Yeah,
like
totally.
This takes a lot of time to add all of these. So if you guys see, I'm gonna borrow the mouse for
Yes,
a
please
moment,
do.
and I'm gonna have to move my microphone over so you guys can hear me.
Is the audio being weird? The audio bar. I can't get it to show spikes.
Oh, it
That's
might.
okay. Whatever.
Yeah,
that's
it might just take a minute. Actually, this isn't really. Oh, I'm clicking on the.
There you go.
I'm clicking on the
Oh, you're
display
click-
screen instead of the actual screen. But if you see this guy right here, this is a tiny little black box. So it was really weird. Could you delete that?
Actually, you have to click it and then you have to right click it and then hit remove.
Got it. Remove and fill gap. We're not going to do anything else because we're just going to undo that. Oh, sorry, I have to face the microphone. But if you look at this up here, you'll see what we had. So what it was doing, it was fading out of this and then and you could see me in the corner and it wasn't great. So all that I did there, if you could undo, was I just added a little black box there. And now we see this, where the black, you don't see me anymore in the corner. So the
Yeah.
background is black,
Yeah.
and then that fades away to the actual church. Then we have the other item, which is the background here, the pink and the blue, and then we have the text.
That's a good gradient.
And then you gotta, I thought it was really cool as well. And then you gotta have and then we make the text scroll, so you have to set keyframes. So
Yeah.
something that looks as simple, yeah, please stop that before I start singing. I mean, you can all check it out on YouTube and Facebook if you'd like to do that, but I don't need to listen to it again.
Did you like the plug I did, by the way,
On what?
for the YouTube channel when I was talking about Babs?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
I
you
knew
did.
I knew you would like that.
You did the.
Yep.
Check it out, YouTube, Facebook. So, let's check in on OBS here. I want to see what we've
Oh,
got
there's
going
your
on
audio.
there.
It finally rendered.
Okay,
Finally.
so if you guys see the yellow at the top and the bottom, it's very tiny, but she's circling it right now with the cursor. The yellow is bad. So that means if you all know what it means, thank you, Marie. If you all know what it sounds like when you turn your car stereo up too loud, and then it gets all garbly and kind of, I guess, distorted is the word that I'm looking
Yeah.
for. But that's what those yellow peaks are. So we want to be as loud as we can without actually distorting the audio, because then it doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
If any of you remember, actually, the end of March, the Zion Choir, and this is also on YouTube and Facebook. Actually,
Ooh, I wonder
would
if that's
you,
in.
would
Yeah,
you
let's
throw a link
let's
in the
bring that.
comments real quick?
Oh yeah, let's bring that bad boy up.
Yeah,
I love that.
because
thing.
I love that song so much. But it's called Jesus Saves. And this was the first time I actually had the microphone in-house too high. I had it because I wanted to make sure that we could hear us. One of our last hurdles that we had to figure out was how can we make sure that the choir is heard. Everything else in this room that we use, for the most part, has a microphone.
do that?
Not that one. That's not the one we want to listen to.
No, but I just paused it. Oh, look at it though. Not a bad one.
Not bad.
Not a bad one.
Was that our first one? Was that the prayer? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
that's
first
the
one
very
that we
first
did.
one on this
How many
thing.
views do we have? 728 views.
We've
That's
been
actually pretty darn
rocking.
good. That's probably that is the best performing video that we have on our channels
All
right
right,
now.
Jesus Saves right here. I'm gonna link the link.
Link the link.
Link the link.
Yes.
All right. So
We're
I'm
very
gonna
good
do
with
that
our
real
words
quick.
are hard.
These pictures, by the way, were all taken by Miss Charlotte.
Yes, thank you to Charlotte for all the one. Actually, if you see any kind of artsy pictures at the beginning or the end of any of our videos that we post, that's all Charlotte. One of the first times that she was here visiting, she just went around and took pictures, and she's really good at taking pictures. Most of these obviously aren't even like edited afterwards.
No.
They're just raw
Seriously,
pictures.
yeah. She has a gift.
She does. She does have a. I actually had her. We took some pictures last night too. It was really nice. It was at dusk,
Oh,
and then we
nice.
went outside and we got the steeple with the lights on,
Oh,
and then we got
sweet.
the lights inside the bell tower.
Did you get the chimney cap?
We did not get the chimney cap. No. So Amy has gone ahead and put the link in there, so you can go ahead and listen to that once we're done. Oh, you can listen to it now and come back too if you want. I mean, you're not going to miss anything here. But whoops! Don't hit the microphone, Alex.
But yeah, the audio
Don't hit
man
the
on that
microphone.
one went off the chain.
But we sang so loud and the microphone was up so high that we actually distorted. It's called clipping is the technical term. We actually clipped the top and the bottom of all of our ranges. So when you listen to that, and if you've noticed, if you listen to it and thought, wow, it sounds like a lot more than 7 people are singing, that's because we had so much.
Sweet.
Oh, nice.
Charlotte?
Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you, Charlotte. That's because we had so much power and the microphone was turned up actually just a little bit too much. So we didn't, it did distort a little bit. If you listen closely when we get loud, what's the verse?
Which one? The verse?
Rising up.
Yeah.
When we hit rising up, we were also all feeling it, and there were
Yeah,
7 of us
yeah.
singing it. So that's my favorite song that we've sang.
It's a moving piece.
This
it's a moving piece. It's
year.
great.
Actually, that's my favorite song that we've sang since doing live streams.
Okay, so
to be
you
honest.
haven't sung Days of Elijah, so
I'm
I'm
saying since we did
I know.
live streams. I was also absent from the church
Yeah.
for terminology lesson
Never.
for about 8 years. I did 4 years in college, and then I did 4 years in Chicago.
We felt it.
So yeah, what, my absence?
Yes.
I know.
It's so funny because I've said this a million times. So your absence, we do need to do a podcast. We need to do
I
something.
think this is I think
This is a
fine.
riot. Honestly, though,
I'm
if
having
you
a
were
ball.
if you were here Saturdays when we prep the service, we probably shouldn't do a podcast of us doing it then because we don't necessarily do things that are PC. But I think we're trying to keep it together for this. But I think this is pretty rad. But I think that we could totally do that on Saturdays for when we prep the service because we'll be here for hours sometimes. But speaking of that piece, we were all definitely feeling it. We've done a lot of really good pieces that are just kind of like in our wheelhouse that we're like, oh yeah, that's a great one. But that one was cool because it was the first one that we had sung since like being on a huge hiatus for COVID since the holidays. And then, what else was I going to say? The very end, though, even once we edited the audio, it's still when we were in the church itself, and the church has fantastic acoustics.
Oh, it's
But,
this is the best
yeah.
place to sing ever. I tell you what.
Yeah.
You don't even need a microphone. If you stand right over by the TV, this room will amplify your voice
Yeah.
10 times over. It's fantastic. It's such a cool feeling.
Yeah, every spot's a good spot, but there's some real sweet spots. And so then when we were singing that, the way that the harmonies are, like everybody's just hit them just on the money. We have really great musicians, really great vocalists, and like just at this church in general. And it's a complete privilege. But when we hit that last one, even in-house, without that like mic doing anything that adjusted the stream and stuff, when we had the recording of it, there was only 7 of us singing, but it sounded like so many more because when you hit
Sound
the
like
harmony,
25 people.
Yeah, when you hit the harmony dead on, it just adds so much resonance into the room that that was really cool. We all kind of walked away, and I just remember.
Ready for a facial?
Oh sure, I just remember thank you. I just remember we finished that piece, and we were all so like, whoa. That sounded great, but then I was like, oh crap, we have to get back to the computer and get back to the service or whatever because it kind of like sat with us, and then we're like, oh, we got to run back. And I feel like we kind of look a little frantic sometimes after we finish stuff.
That has been one of my goals, is to make sure that we don't look like our hair is on fire during the service, because as you all know, the tech team, actually, almost everybody on the tech team is in the bell choir.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people are also in the vocal choir. And so we have to get everything set at the table and then leave the table, which if you think that's a comfortable feeling, it is not. If anybody remembers our Palm Sunday service last year,
Palm Sunday 2021, never forget.
Amy and I both played in the bell quartet. We were up in the arch, in the choir
Oh, I
loft
can't
there.
believe you're bringing this up. This hurts.
I know it does
hurts,
hurt,
Alex.
but we were sitting, so we decided to leave the table, and that's when our audio kept just cutting out completely.
Kind of
And
like the video right now. Well, not right now, but
but we lost audio too.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
right
it's
now we're
fabulous.
just losing video. So it just went blank with sound. And you can see Pastor Scott and Reverend Dr. Ed Bray, they were doing the Passion reading, and it went out like right in the middle of it. And we didn't even know.
No.
I had Kathy Tinkler up on the balcony texting both of us, but we don't have our phones because they're here at the table,
Yeah.
and we're up in the arch. And so we get very nervous when we leave the table. But I will say lately it's been a lot better. But we have this instinct whenever we're done performing to just run back to the table to make sure everything's good. So we talked during our last stream team meeting saying like, it's okay if there is a couple seconds in between transitions. Everybody knows that we're moving. It's like a normal church service. We're not, although I would like our video production to be top notch, and I think honestly that it is, a couple seconds here and there. Even if you watch CNN, they have a couple seconds of dead air every now
You're
and then.
gosh darn right they do. Take that, Anderson.
So, yeah. How are you going to do that? Oh, no, just kidding.
No.
This is, if those of you who haven't been here at church, this is my new microphone. Charlotte bought that for me for my birthday. Charlotte is my girlfriend, for those of you who do not know. What, did you just turn that camera off? Mm-mm. What just happened?
I just am switching around feeds for the preview.
Oh, okay.
Seeing what's there.
Yep, nope, thought we lost it. But this is my new microphone. It looks like we're in a recording studio here.
It does.
Which maybe one day we'll get Doug Almsey to build us one.
Can you tell if he likes it or not?
But I love it. I love it.
Can you tell?
You know why I love it? Because it picks up the low notes. And these microphones that Amy has, they're great. And they're fantastic in-house. And she even sounds nice and crisp and clear coming through it on the stream.
Oh, thank you.
But when I were to sing low, I used to have the gray microphone. And I used to sing into it on all the low notes, which, let's be honest, I go to the low notes when I can't hit the high notes. All of they didn't really come through. I would listen back on my phone and I couldn't hear it. So, but this really, I could get really close.
It's really sad that
It's
he can't hit
fantastic.
those high notes anymore because he was a trained soprano and he lost that skill, and it's just a crying shame.
False.
Absolute crying shame. He thinks he's a bass, but we all know that I am.
Oh yeah. She
And
wishes she was a bass. If
That's
she
been
could
a
be
running
any other
joke.
singer.
That's been a
Yes.
running joke in the choir. And I can sing low. It doesn't necessarily sound great, but I think it sounds interesting because
Yeah.
they're like, oh, because I can sing on pitch pretty much down to like a C. You know?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And so, but
That's
it
pretty
doesn't
good.
necessarily sound. The tonality ain't the best, but power bass. There's Kelly, one of the best tenors. Dang, Kelly, man, Kelly is a power tenor.
Kelly's fantastic
Holy
also.
crap,
I
man, Kelly can
personally,
carry a dang middle C.
It is an honor to sing next to Kelly
Yes.
in our choir. Again, listen to Jesus Saves. I think it's fantastic. You can hear Kelly loud and proud, and I absolutely love it. The high note that is hit in the part that only the tenors sing, all Kelly and Heather.
Mm-hmm.
I went down. I went low to the octave below. You can't even hear me really. But it's fantastic.
What are we
Power
s-
bass, absolutely, Kelly.
Power
Power
bass.
bass.
These, actually, the next two that we're singing, I'm not going to tell you what they are, but I'm just looking at them because I've already forgotten. The next two that we're singing one on the 22nd of May, and then we're singing one at some point in June. I feel like I wrote it down. I really like the one. I love the modulations for the one in June because, like,
The one
when
in
you
June
first
is cool. You know what? I like both of them.
I do like both of them.
Because I was singing, I was singing the one that we're doing in May. I almost gave it away what we're doing, but I was singing that one the other day, and I can tell them the title, right?
You could, yeah. Because
It's called "I Will Rise."
Yeah.
And it's a great song. I am biased when it comes to the songs that we sing because I like the ones where my part is cool. Amy has the task of singing the melody on every song, every single song that we sing.
Every single song.
And that's what you get when you're a soprano, right? So I personally like the ones where we get a nice moving tenor line.
Yeah.
Kelly and I can hit those higher notes. As long as it's not above an E, I should be able to sing it. Kelly's hit a couple Fs this year.
Yeah.
She's hit a couple Fs. I don't know. I don't know. Kelly, have you been up to a G? Let us know. I know you've been to an F, but no, it's
Kelly
just.
could probably pop a G, but I haven't heard her hold a G.
Yeah, she could pop a G for
Yeah.
sure. She could do that. Maybe this time of evening. It's tough to sing in the morning as well.
Dude, yeah.
I tell you, the amount of, because I come in after work to get my work done here and get everything set up for the service.
Kelly, I don't know.
I don't think so. And let me tell you how easy it is to sing at 10 o'clock in the evening when you've been talking all day at work or on the phone or this, that, and the other thing. Completely different story when it's 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
and then you have to perform it at probably 9:20ish. The vocal cords aren't warmed up. You
Yeah.
know, you warm up as best you can, but there's nothing that warms you up better than a full day of talking.
Right.
So, yeah, it's
There's
really,
a lot of warming up in the car, but you also live like 5 minutes away.
There's
so
not much
there's
time.
a lot of like
There's not much
shower
time.
warm up. I
There's
have to warm up
one
in the
stoplight.
car. I talk.
Yeah.
And like I just talk to myself like as I'm getting ready and stuff like that. But then if there's ones where I have to sing a little bit lower, I don't necessarily worry about warming up too terribly much.
Yeah.
But lately, yeah, and I always have to sing soprano, which is fine. Like that's the vocal, that's my anatomy. That's what I was given as a gift. They were like, here's your vocal cords,
Talk
here's
about
your vocal
popping
range.
notes too.
Yeah.
When you hear all the really high, beautiful notes, that's Amy. She's up there by herself most of the time. Everybody else is a little bit lower. So again, I'll say it one more time. Jesus Saves, that last note, pretty much all Amy.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It was cool to be able to break those up too, though, because there's one where it didn't go like super high, but it was nice to be able to be like, all right, well they're gonna take this one, I'll take this one, whatever, and then it really just filled out the chord and it just sounded really nice.
It's gorgeous.
But I always say like, yeah, the fact that I sing soprano is totally fine. I have a strong voice for it. It works great. I feel like it goes fine every time, but like for Alex, like singing harmony parts, like singing like alto parts or tenor parts or something like that, it's just so much, I don't know, it's so much like for somebody who likes to sing and stuff like that. Those parts are definitely, they have like a counter melody and like a harmony, so it's just a part that's more interesting and different. It's something more difficult to grasp. So sometimes I like the thought of doing those, but I don't always get to. So that's another thing that we do on Saturdays is we'll just sing and just harmonize for fun, him and I.
Well, honestly, now that we're actually singing all of the hymns,
Yeah.
that's like 3 songs a day that we have to learn.
Yeah, that's true.
And you all know when I don't spend time beforehand learning it.
I wonder if they've picked up on this or if they're,
Even
maybe
when
they won't
I-
notice until you say this.
Even if I practice, there was one song. I know for a fact that Mike Novak knows which song it is because I've talked to him about it.
Oh, that's
I know for a
funny.
fact that Amy Schultz knows which one it is because I've talked to her about it.
That's
but
so funny.
there was one song. It was a difficult song. You know how every now and then we'll get a difficult song in church that nobody really knows how to sing, and it's pretty much a Lori solo because everyone's just like, oh, yeah. And there was one. It was rough.
outta here, that's funny.
It was. I can't tell you the
A
name
Lori
of it.
solo,
I
that's
can't
so
tell
accurate.
you when we actually sang it, but it was rough. And afterwards, I go, holy smokes, that was rough.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get the note. I couldn't figure out how the notes went. The words were very intricate. And if you read music, you know that you have to. Hi, Gary. So good to see you. Thanks for joining us. All
Hi,
we're
Uncle
doing right now
Skip.
is a live test, pretty much. So we're just kind of sitting here doing the Zion podcast, if you will, with Alex and
Coming
Amy
to you live
on a Thursday evening.
from
at
that weird unused corner of the
almost 9 o'clock.
sanctuary.
Yes, yes, the corner that we hide from
Yeah,
everybody because it's unsightly and there's cords everywhere.
Also, yeah, and that's why I bought this room divider. I don't know if anybody knows that it's actually here, but we know that all of the equipment that we have is unsightly. So I bought this room divider like
you got
a
it.
while back. We had a different one, and then I got a nicer looking one because we do feel like sometimes what we do.
They're not seeing what you're seeing.
Because it's the screen. Aren't they seeing the screen now? Or did
No,
I not? I
no,
didn't send them the
OBS,
screen
you didn't
anymore.
send it to 'em.
That's true. So let me put test back up there.
No,
so
just fade into it.
just fade into
Just
this.
transition. Yeah.
And then I'll put test
Nah,
over.
we're right
I can
there.
put test over here too.
Yeah. Anyways, she was
But
showing
anyways,
you
this
our room divider.
Because we don't ever want to be distracting to the people that are in the building because we do have to do a lot and we have a lot of screens and sometimes we just don't want to take away. Oh,
We
we're
are.
too big.
I know we are too big. We can
Gross.
actually transition away from that and go back
Yeah,
to OBS
please.
if
Okay.
you want to do that. Oh, that's what you were
Let's
doing, the
give 'em-
screen share. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. For those of you who weren't here at the beginning, this is the screen that we see.
Yeah.
This is how we run a service.
Yeah.
It looks complicated, yes.
Yeah,
Is
it
it?
is.
Yeah. It kind of is. You figure out how to do it, but if you could do me a favor, Amy,
You
and
got it. What you need.
unmute the video capture device Elgato at the bottom there. So on Sunday, I do have to apologize. I didn't even realize that we had double audio. We had our echo back that we had, and you can hear it right now, probably. I can't in my earphones, or headphones, earbuds, headphones, whatever they're called. But so I apologize. Let's mute that up again. Now we're so crisp and clear that you don't hear that echo in the background any longer. So that I found what was doing it. We muted it, and hopefully that'll be fixed, and we don't have that echo anymore.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it can be complex.
Yeah.
If you see on the side over here, I'm pointing again.
You're pointing.
If
I
you
got you
see
with the
on the
cursor.
side with the cursor, those are all of our scenes. So a normal Sunday,
We have just the normal, like the screensaver.
a normal non-communion, no bells,
Whoa.
no fancy service, no.
That type of thing. Let's go back to our test situation here.
There we
And
go.
then I'll
Yeah,
just
just
keep
kinda
kind
point
of.
to
It's
it.
going to be hard to show them certain
It-
media because
it
you have
will
to
be,
transition
'cause
to it.
We're actually using this program right now
Yeah.
to do live streaming. So showing you the program while we're using the program, yeah, it can be a little
It's
tricky
a whole bunch
sometimes.
of bells and whistles.
But yeah, those are all the scenes that we've made. That's hymns. Every background scene that you see. It's got a call to worship. Everything, every word that we put up on the screen has its own scene. And for a long time, actually, funny story, for a long time, our computer, when you hit one scene,
I
as soon as you
can't
transitioned
with
over to
this.
the other one, it would go back to the last thing that
It would
you saw.
just
So
jump around.
it would jump all over, up and down, and you would have to figure out what you were going to do next. So when we have communion and we do the call and response with Pastor Scott, he says, "The Lord be with you." We say, "And also with you." He says, "Lift up your hearts." We say, "We lift them up
Oh
unto
my
the
gosh,
Lord."
that was the most difficult part of my service
It was.
ever. That every time I would get it too, if I didn't get it, I'd be bummed. But every time I got it, I would just like fist bump. I'd be like, yes!
It's a fantastic feeling, and it's something that people at home have no idea.
No, not at
there's
all.
no way that looks hard. There's no way that should be hard, but it was. So we found recently, like 2 weeks ago.
I can't.
It was 2 or 3 weeks
It
ago.
was
We
right
found a
before
setting.
Easter, which was honestly an
Yes.
Easter miracle.
It was a Saturday before Easter. Is what
Yeah.
it was. Right before it, we found the setting where we could turn that off, where it didn't jump back to the last thing that you were
Yeah.
at, and it's so much better now.
Honestly,
But-
and so that has been a godsend. Like, maybe not, that's not the right word. But anyways, long story short, so like usually what you'll see in a service, if it's not a, what do you call it, a communion service, it's going to be what we see right here up until this line. And these lines kind of just divide, like this is the normal service, and then we have a line, and these are extra scenes that we have
We're
for like
both
specialty
very-
services, baptisms, funerals, whatever.
Very organized people, and we need the dividers because we need sections.
Honestly.
We need groups. If we had a
Yes.
whole list of things, let me tell you, you would see a communion response back when we're trying to do the offering.
We
Like,
put all of our type A personalities into literally all of our type A goes into like the weekends where we do this.
Yes.
And then I have said like this summer I'm coming up to their cottage at Higgins Lake and we're just kicking back. Like we are just gonna we're just gonna pour all of our type B, chillin', having fun, because I feel like, well, for the most part, like when we hang out on Saturdays, it's a little bit different, but for the most part, like we are just working hard and working together, and we're just
Pretty
working.
nonstop,
Like when
yeah.
we're together, we're just working, and I feel like we have fun, but we also are like just trying so hard to make something
We're just
awesome
trying to
because
get
we
something
care.
done, and
Yeah,
we're trying to
just-
make it look good.
Yeah.
And we're trying to not make it seem amateurish.
Yeah.
We want to produce a relatively high level of service. If you
Yeah.
guys are at home, there's a lot of churches. If any of you looked at other churches out there, and not to say anything
you
bad
about to
about
throw-
any
you're
other
s- no,
church. No, I'm
you're
not going
throwing
to.
shade.
I will say a lot of churches put a camera in the back and let it go. And that's it. And the hymn, you don't get the words, you don't get the, which is fine if that's what you want to do. We have the opportunity because of the camera that we bought, because of the computer that we bought, and all the screens that we bought. Actually, we didn't buy any of these screens. These screens were already here.
Yes.
The screen was Amy's.
That one was Amy's. That
this
one's
one came
yours.
from
Yours? I thought it was yours.
where'd this one come from? Oh, Christian Ed office is where this one came from.
Oh, the old, and then
I
the
used to
old
have
one
my
was
old
the gateway.
I used to have my old gateway legitimately when
Y'all
I was in high school.
Y'all remember
I
Gateway?
used this computer, and we had the old school monitor. Back when we did call in, so there were 3 or 4 people when we were in COVID who didn't have access to internet. So we set it up to where they could dial a phone number and listen to the service. And that's what we put on there, so I could see who was on there. You know, I could talk to them. I could make sure that they can hear everything. It wasn't great. It was a stopgap for sure, because the music over the phone, if you want to think of the worst hold music you've ever heard and then put it inside of a tin can, that's kind of what it sounded like. But the audio was crystal clear, so it worked for what we needed it for.
I gotta change this all back from pink. I put it pink for Mother's Day because I thought it was
We
cute.
did do pink. 320079 is the purple that we prefer here.
I
It does
memorize
match.
it.
Oh, we both have the hex. What is it? Hex code.
Yeah.
Each
I think it's called hex code.
Each
Yeah.
color has a hex code, which is essentially a combination of letters and numbers that equal a color. And the purple,
Postlude needs
the
to be
purple that we
changed.
like. Actually, check out the Lord's Prayer real quick, if you don't mind. When you're done changing the color, I just
want
thought
to.
this is a preview for Sunday. I just thought it looked really cool.
Oh my
I
gosh!
really
Get
like that.
out of here!
I know. This we geek out on this.
We
kind of
really
stuff.
do. We really do. We need to do a thing where
when
we
we
show
get a
them like
good-
motion worship and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
when we get a good intro video, we're like, oh, it's so good.
It's so good. Like we truly, and that's why like I remember for Easter, like like Charlotte she put her phone on here, and we have to upload. We eventually have to make that a project piece.
She did behind the scenes 2 weeks ago also, when we also had camera issues. So you could see us essentially freaking out behind the table.
We'll mute our mouths.
Yeah, we got to learn
We'll
how to.
feel- we'll
We got to
blur
learn how to
some of
put
that out.
the little blur over
yeah,
our
over our
mouths,
mouths,
because
yeah.
I'm just
We,
guessing.
it's
I don't
because
know
we
what
care.
I said,
I promise it's
but I'm
because we care.
guessing we may have to blur some of that out.
Yeah.
Because it's upsetting when you work so hard at a service.
It is. It
And then
really
the
is.
camera just goes
It
and
is.
cuts right out. You did that transition perfectly, by the way, right off my face. It hurts.
Yeah,
it
it
hurts physically
does.
sometimes when things don't work the way that you want. But we also realize that not everything in life works the way that you want. You know, it's not always going to turn out exactly how you thought it was in your head.
Oh no,
So-
never.
But this is what we do on Saturdays. We go through, we change all of the backgrounds. Each week has a theme. Inside of that theme, we have colors.
Actually, I'm gonna leave this.
If you ever have noticed, the colors that are behind the words on the screen also match the colors in our beautiful arch that we have, which I think I'm going to go show them that real quick if you want to talk for a second.
Oh yeah. I was gonna. That's why I switched back because I was like, we should move the camera around just to double check that it's not trying to be stay off
Because we
the-
actually, the point of this is to check our camera feed, and we've
Right.
been using other feeds
And
the
we've just
entire
been like,
time.
oh my gosh,
so-
welcome to Zion Studios. Let's get this stuff produced. Oh, speaking of, for Saturday, we're going to have to go a little bit earlier because I'm going to a movie at 1:30. Oh, you still have that thing on your back. We got to play the 20 questions game. You may get a camera feed for a small fee, Alex.
Actually, we're going to do a little test.
There you go. Moving the camera. So moving the camera on Sunday, any little tiny movement caused it to go crazy and so we got a new cord because maybe that cord was kind of just getting old. Little connections were kind of getting a little bit fried off. So we got new cord. We have some backup stuff. There he is. And it was just so funny because I remember for the final 10 minutes of the service, the camera was doing fine and Scott was doing a reflection and we finally got it to work when Scott was talking. And then Bev had to talk. And so then we were like, okay, have Bev go to the pulpit where Scott was talking so that we don't have to move the camera. So we have Bev go there, but then we were so worried because the final piece was a harp piece and we were gonna have to move the camera feed in order to get it onto the harp. And gosh, 10 out of 10, that harpist was just phenomenal. And we were so worried that moving the camera one last time over to the harpist was going to make the camera feed cut out a bunch, and we really didn't want to ruin that video and audio that we got because we don't get a harpist very often. So anyways, long story short, we moved it over and it worked and it stayed fine the whole time. Carrie moved the camera beautifully like throughout the whole service and really worked hard to try to make the camera feed work. with equipment that just wasn't going to happen for her. And so she moved it so slow, and we got to the harpist, and it worked perfectly. And I kept saying the harp has magical powers.
She did. I gotta say something about this harpist because it was 11 out of 10.
Yeah,
and I don't do that.
fantastic.
You can't have more than 100% of a physical thing, but it was fantastic. Like if you have 110% of an apple, you
I know
just
what you
have things growing on an apple, essentially.
Get out of here. Oh my God.
But no, she was fantastic.
Yeah.
And every single time, she played 3 songs.
Yes.
Every time we went to her and it was her turn, the camera worked.
Magical powers,
It
that harp,
worked.
I'm telling you.
And everything else in the service, we had it cut out. We had to go to Mother's Day. We had to come back, showing the flowers. It was interesting.
Yeah.
But she was fantastic. I would have her back in a heartbeat.
Heartbeat. And
Anytime.
everything about her, and I mean this in the best way possible, just emanated harpist.
Yep.
Like she was beautiful. She's just this like beautiful like fairy woman, like this beautiful like just like flowing curly hair, and like she just had this like flowing flowery dress on, and so she just looked the part. And not even just upon that, she played the part. She played the harp so beautifully. And then when we were prepping the service, it's like 8:15, and we were doing some sound checks, and I'm sitting here at the computer, and Alex is moving some microphones around for her. And then all of a sudden I hear Alex go to her, because I'm looking at the screen to see how audio goes. He goes, okay, and then start singing. And then I didn't know who he was talking about. And I'm like, oh, is he talking about like me or Amy Schultz, or who is he talking about? And then all of a sudden this harpist starts singing along with her harp. And it
Voice
was the
of an
most
angel.
ethereal. Like, it was just perfect. She and her harp blended so well. Match made in heaven, I'm telling you.
It was great. None of us knew she was going to sing. I didn't know she was going to sing.
I didn't know either.
And I went up to her and I was talking to her about where should I put the microphone? Where does the sound come out of a harp? Does it come out the sides? Does it come out the front? She's like, it actually comes out the front and it comes out of the bottom of the harp. That's why I aimed the microphone all the way down to the floor.
Never thought of that.
And she goes, what about singing? And I said, what about singing? And she goes, well, for, what was it, Ave Maria?
Yeah, oh my God.
For Ave Maria, she goes, I'm
Absolute
singing.
treat.
And I said, oh, all right, I'll get another microphone for you. It was beautiful.
An honor and a privilege to be able to hear that.
Absolutely beautiful. I tell you
smokes,
what.
that's great.
Yeah. Thanks for the
Fantastic.
warning on that camera feed. That's okay.
Yeah, hi, we're back.
No, but it was wonderful. I think she was amazing. Absolutely amazing. What was her name?
Oh no, Sylvia LaPratte.
Sylvia, yes. Sylvia, if you're listening, which I know you're not because I can see who's listening, but
Sylvia, we
it
love
was
you.
fantastic. We love you, and you can come back anytime. So, funny story, actually. We hired Sylvia over 2 years ago. What? Yeah.
I didn't know that.
We paid her over 2 years ago, and she was supposed to do Mother's Day 2020, and you all know what happened in March of 2020 is that we stopped. We shut down the church. COVID was here. Everyone stayed home. So we were really upset that we weren't going to be able to have the harpist there for Mother's Day. And then we tried again in the fall, but then by the time we booked her, it was like cases were going up again, and she didn't, we didn't feel comfortable. So 2 years running, it took us to get her in here, and it was well worth the wait. It was fantastic. So, yeah, it was absolutely wonderful.
The more you know.
But anyways, if anybody new has joined us, again, I don't have my...
I
Can
kept
see
thinking that
who's
her
watching?
name because
Oh,
it
Regina's
was,
here. Hello. I don't know if Regina's still here, but if you're still here,
Oh, hi,
thank you so
Regina.
much for joining us. All we're doing right now, guys, is a live test. It's pretty much the Alex and Amy show on the debut edition of our, what's it called? I'm old.
new equipment.
No,
Oh,
podcast.
our podcast.
Yes. I
Yeah.
forget all the terms these kids
It's
say these
epically
days.
boring.
It's pretty much just us sitting here. We want to make sure that our camera feed is going to work on Sunday. We don't always know when something breaks what broke.
Right. Yeah.
So
There's a lot of stuff. We need to honestly, I wish I could get my phone down here so you could see, so I have really long legs, right? My body proportions
does.
are just bizarre.
Yes, true
And
that.
so I have very, very long legs. And so sometimes when I'm sitting here at the computer, I want to kind of move and adjust and stretch my legs out, but I have to always
she can't.
look.
She's not allowed to.
Right. I either have
She's
to
gonna pull
not,
something out from underneath
or
the
I have
table.
to tilt my head and look at where I can plant my feet between some of these chords. And I would say this is a good track worth of chords, man. This is a high school lap.
Oh, at least.
at least.
The amount of we had to
We
borrow
should
an
totally
old bell.
measure it for
yeah,
fun. Yeah.
Seriously? I
No,
don't
not
want to.
actually,
No,
not
I'm not
actually. That
going
would
to.
take too long.
We could figure out how long each one is and add them up with math. We could do it that way.
There you go.
But we actually had to borrow one of our old bell table skirts. You know, the little the what is it?
Wait, we can
corduroy.
show them a bell table
We
skirt.
could. It goes around the table of the bells. You'd have the pads so the bells can do it. But it's
Right
that.
there, just-
it's,
yeah.
It's the stuff that hangs down over the side so you can't see underneath the tables. We had to borrow one of those for our table because it was unsightly. The amount of cords
Oh, gosh,
that we
yeah.
have here. I mean, everything requires a cord, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything wirelessly in this church for a couple of reasons. A, I don't trust wireless. B, this church is made of concrete and brick. C, we already have had, if any of you remember a few years back when the Catholic Church upgraded their sound system.
Yes.
And Amy Schultz just happened to be singing a solo in our church. And right in the middle of the priest's homily, Amy's voice from the frequency of the microphone goes over to their
Yeah.
church. And afterwards, they were like, it was beautiful. It was like an angel. It was right in the middle of the homily. But so we had to change some frequencies. Anytime you have wireless and frequencies, things can happen. So I like hardwired. I run Ethernet cables in my house. I don't even like using Wi-Fi, to be honest with you.
It's tough, yeah.
But yeah, so we have a lot of wires. And
yeah.
we try to hide them to make it look nice. I'm not great. Amy always cleans up our table here, and then I get upset because I'm like, where did my stapler go that was right here? She's like, it's put away. I'm like, well, why? But we try to keep it nice because people still can see it, and it's still church. You know, you don't want it to look like we're running.
It's still church.
It's still church. Yes, we do have. Can I show them?
I don't care. Do it.
We do have some inspirational pictures
I did
around
not.
our table.
These just appeared. These are
Oh, I'll tell you exactly who brought it in. Bill Prawl brought this
basically,
one in
yeah.
for us.
Bill, my uncle
It
Bill
is
brought
a
this
gem.
in. I can't. Oh, great.
Did I
And of
use
course,
sticky
now all
tack?
of a sudden
I
we got
used-
7
oh,
viewers.
Yes,
I
the peak of
can't.
our viewership.
Oh, no.
This is, before I show you, this is a picture of Carrie and Amy, both sisters, quite a while ago. I do have to warn you, Amy is not wearing pants, but she's a child, so it looks pretty cute. We're playing with Barney and Bebop. What was the other one?
Baby
Baby
Bop.
Bop. Yeah, I didn't really watch. But
Shout
this is
out.
one of our inspirational pictures that we have.
Yeah. So basically, what we have here is just like a desk, like an office. Like I said, like we're basically just working here, like on the weekends, like part time. And so we're here for several hours on Saturday. We're here for several hours on Sunday. So we've kind of just like turned this thing into our own personal desk. We have this really cool like throwback photo. I wonder if it's gonna. It's not really gonna focus.
That's not a great photo.
It's not gonna focus super well either. But this is old. Like look at the what do you call
Red
it?
carpeting.
The carpet's red, and then you can sort of see in here. My dad's actually playing the violin there.
He
I don't
is.
remember who dropped that photo off.
I believe Bill as well.
Was it Bill?
I do
And
believe
so we
so.
kind of just have like little like photos. We have this. I actually really appreciate this. So we were so
Was that
so,
Easter?
this was Easter.
That was Easter.
We
So
were
a little backstory.
So busy on Easter.
The beginning of the Easter service, if you look at that again, it goes quick.
Yeah.
It goes boom, boom, boom. We've
So
got
busy.
music, talking, music. And so we're going all over the place and this, that. And by the time we were done singing, we were
It
like,
does need plants.
just to get back to this table
Yeah.
and sit down and feel good. But what needs plants?
The
Oh,
desk.
the table.
It
The
does.
table
I
does
agree.
need plants. You're absolutely
I
correct,
agree.
Charlotte. But once we got back to the desk, after we did bells, we did singing, we did this, we did that, we had hymns. Right when we were done singing, we had to start the hymns on the way back to the table, transition
true,
on the way
that's true.
over. Amy had to run and hit the computer so we could get the words up so
It was
everybody could
all
see
kinds
it.
of stuff.
And then Charlotte, who's sitting at her comic computer, which is right next to me here, she hands us a little note.
And it said that it was so nice. It was just what we needed too. And she said, "Oh, and it's perfect because it's not backwards." And it says, "You guys are doing great." And I kept looking at that through the rest of the service, and I've been looking at that even when our camera's been going out for the last couple weeks. And I've just been like, you know what?
We are doing
We
great.
are doing great.
Yes.
We are. We're really
For what
trying.
we have, we're doing a decent job. So
Kelly.
Kelly also says, Charlotte, no more stuff on the desk.
I think we could totally do just one. Just one.
We already have 2 6-foot tables here. We have 12 feet
Yeah,
of stuff.
it's a lot.
And it's in an L shape, but yeah, it is a decent amount. But
Then,
you know what? I
okay,
think
we
plants
I
wouldn't be bad
don't think plants would be bad.
because it would make it look better.
we need oxygen
It's
up
not,
in here.
It's not like it's not like we're adding more papers because,
Right.
let's be honest,
I think it would make it homey.
I have a lot of papers here.
Now, mind you, we do have this 12-foot basically of L-shaped desk, but then behind us we have an extra pew. You can see it, and it's got on it all kinds of tapes, a recycle bin, some
Can I
extra
get out of the way?
hymnals,
Let me get out of the
some
way.
expo markers. Also a trash bin. We have
That's- you need
we
trash.
do we
You
do
need to be able to throw
communion.
things
We
out.
need snacks. Okay, I was saying Pothos or ZZ. I was saying that same thing because sometimes it's good light coming right out of here in the morning. Absolutely.
You know, I have a Pothos on my desk at the office.
Do you?
I do. His name is George.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have two. One of them's name is
He's-
Chris,
Chris?
but I don't have a name for the other one. I should really.
Oh, the other one needs a name for sure.
But yeah, we have a bunch of stuff on
We
this
have a
pew
lot of
as well,
stuff.
and then of course we have Cord City down here, which honestly looks like the British road system.
Roundabout.
Yeah,
Oh,
roundabout,
sorry about
roundabout,
that.
curve.
What happens when
all
I hit
that
the
stuff.
microphone.
Honestly, maybe even Boston. I've heard Boston is harder to drive than New York. I've heard if you can drive
You
Boston,
know what?
you can
I've
drive
driven
anywhere.
Boston, and
have
that
you?
is not fun.
Okay,
No.
yeah.
You're just out of nowhere. You're in a tunnel underneath the city, and you're like, oh, where am I going to come up? I don't know. There's
uncomfortable.
There's no signs. You're just in a tunnel, and you're going to come out
uncomfortable,
wherever
for
you
sure.
come out. So, yeah, not great.
So that's our setup. Oh, and then we can also, you could sort of see it here. We have two whiteboard calendars where
Yes,
we
this is
prep
where we keep
everything,
track of
and we have
everything.
multiple markers on there because we color code. Once again, we are very organized people. And we color code like different things. So like what themes we're going to do. So like the different type of media stuff you see for like the 5-minute countdowns, different stuff like that. And
Purple is going to be the intro video. Green is going to be who's lecturing. Pink is going to be the theme of the week. Black is going to be anything else that we need to write. Blue is any kind of holiday, which we do actually have to start recording for our Memorial Day service.
Oh, gosh.
Because as you all know, the tech team does try to take off 3 Sundays a summer. I think it's important that the same people aren't here every single week. Everybody needs a day off,
I
right?
think we were also going to do that now going forward for the Sunday that goes between Christmas and New Year, right?
Oh, I don't know.
I think we got to make a thing though at our next meeting.
That's true, yeah. But so what we do on those days is we pre-record the service, and we pretty much map everything out on our calendars here of when we're going to record. Okay, this day we're recording the
Yeah.
sermon. This day we're going to record Lori doing the hymns. This day we're going to record Amy and I singing the hymns on top of Lori.
Yeah.
This day we're going to put everything together.
Let's check our
so
camera feed.
it takes us a little bit of time to put that together, but we just we produce essentially a completely separate service from what people see here live, because we
Yes.
still do have a Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor
Yeah.
Day service live in the sanctuary. But in order to be able to not stream and also to be able to bring a service to everybody online, we pre-record everything beforehand, and then just we set it to release.
Yeah.
So, but that's where we plan everything.
That is, we need it. We need it.
What was that?
That's
You
just me
went
because
black a little bit.
I just went because I went to announcements and there was nothing there.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, because that's not the side. So the side that she's on right now that's black, that's the preview side, if you see at the top of the screen there.
Yeah.
And then the program side of things is what you guys are actually seeing on a normal service. Right now, you're actually seeing everything. But so this is what's coming up next.
Yep.
And then the program side is what's happening now.
So, yeah.
we're pretty much switching, and we're getting things ready on the one screen to throw them over onto the other screen. And then as soon as it's on the other screen, we go to the next screen and make sure that's all set up.
Yeah.
Amy, if you can go back to our feed right now.
Please hold.
She is fantastic at A, working under pressure, and B, adding things into the service during the service. And I can't even describe how uncomfortable that makes me, and she's aware of it. I'm like, just stop. She's looking through when Pastor Scott talks about Israel. Boom, she's automatically got all 1,600 of his photos up, and she's trying to find what is he talking about. And every now and then, she'll throw one up on the screen. She'll find one that matches, and she'll go, boom, right up there. It's wonderful. The result is fantastic, and it's really cool, but it stresses me right out.
It does.
Because you're not...
It definitely does stress him out. I think that, so like 90% of the reason that I do it is because I think that it adds to the service. And if we have the ability to put a picture up for you guys at home or for the people who are even watching it here, because he'll talk about stuff. And his Israel trip was fantastic, very moving, awesome. He talks about that. Or there was one time, I think the first time I ever changed a service was last year's Ash Wednesday, because we had the Apostles' Creed And for the Apostles' Creed, now pull that up on the left screen, the preview screen. Why am I literally blanking? Here it is.
Oh, because it's up in the service.
So the Apostles' Creed over here, you'll see that it has purple borders, which match our paraments, and it matches the liturgical stuff.
Oh, she goes and changes everything right before we're about
Oh,
to
you're
switch
gosh
to
darn
it.
right I do. And so
She
then we
changes
make
it to gray
these
and black.
purple, and then they match the paraments. They kind of match everything. So we try to make every like little tiny details match, right? So it was Ash Wednesday, and I was like, oh, we forgot to change the border of the Apostles' Creed to gray. And so then I did it right before while he was like doing a sermon. And Alex looks at me, and I was like, hee hee hee. So like 90% of the reason though is
was
because
rough.
I know that I can make it happen, and I want to make it happen for you guys. But I would say that 10% is the entertainment of watching Alex.
Of watching me freak out, sitting right next to her with no control over what she's doing. I can't reach the computer.
No,
I
you
can't
can't.
stop her. I'm in
It's
charge of
great.
sound. So I do the audio.
Yeah.
She does the computer. The person next to me, which is usually lately it's been Charlotte or Kelly,
Yep.
or doing all the comments and responding to
So
people.
funny.
And then there's somebody over on the camera. It takes anywhere between 2 and 4 people to run a fully functional
Very
service,
efficiently, yeah.
as far as the tech team goes. So, no, yes, it is always
So
fun.
funny.
I have tried to calm down when she does that lately because I understand she knows what she's doing. If she makes a mistake, which she hasn't yet,
Not gonna, yeah, seriously.
it's not that big of a deal, Alex.
Right.
Everything doesn't have to be perfect, but the both of us always think that it does, which is
I think-
where the wheels come off the train
And I think
sometimes.
the thing too is that like, especially after like Christmas Eve, I think the
Oh,
thing
yeah.
is too is like, is if I make a, like, if I'm gonna do something, because I am actually harder on myself at making mistakes than anybody. I'm so,
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely.
I'm so hard
like
on myself.
I'm not gonna really come down on you.
No, never,
and
never,
be
never.
like, I
No.
cannot believe that you tried to find a picture in the middle
Never.
of the sermon, and then we accidentally went to the offertory video. Like,
Right.
no. And A, that's never happened. But B, like, even if it did, it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
But we're both hold ourselves to such high standards.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that the stream is a high quality, so people
Mm-hmm.
can enjoy it, so it looks professional. I guess is the
Yeah,
only word I
I
can
d-
come up with. But yeah, she does love to see me squirm.
It does.
And
It's
I do squirm.
fantastic.
I do.
It's great. It's great. And it's like and I think that it's so funny because it's like only something that's going to happen behind this desk. So like there are certain things that are just completely exclusive between interactions with you and I that will only happen at this
Oh,
desk.
absolutely.
And only happen when we are streaming services. But then there's other things that happen with Alex and I. And like when you were gone, like you said earlier, for like 8 years. And when you're younger, like, because we're what, 5 years apart?
How old are you? 31?
Almost.
Yeah,
So we're like
5 years
five.
is
We're
good.
roughly about
We'll call
five.
it 5 years.
We'll just call it 5. I don't know.
Almost.
I don't know.
Then you're 30.
We're roughly about 5 years
Okay.
apart. But when you're a kid, that 5 years seems significant.
Oh,
Because like
it's
6
huge.
to 11, you're like, oh my God, that's a kindergartner, and I'm out here in like upper L. Like, and so then, but then like I just didn't like know. Like I knew obviously Jackie, but like from Jackie to you, it seemed like such a huge gap.
Do you guys know we've been streaming for over an hour?
I know, and we
didn't
haven't-
even- We're just sitting here talking.
We're just sitting here talking.
We could absolutely do a podcast.
We totally could.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave you guys with Amy on the microphone. I actually could take a microphone over to the camera. That should be fine.
Yeah.
But I'm going to
Just
try.
take this
So if any of you right now are motion sick or do not like moving cameras, I am going to test our camera every which way from
Yeah,
here till
please
Tuesday.
do. We need it.
To see, I'm actually going to try to get the camera to go out. Because if I do that, there's no way that during a service we're going to lose the feed because we
Yeah.
don't, everything on the camera is slow. You've got to do it slow. You don't want people doing herky-jerky. You
Yeah.
don't want to zoom like,
Yeah.
you don't want the fast zooms. So I am going to try to play with the camera a little bit, see if I can get it to go out. If I can't, that's great. But then if it goes out on Sunday, I'm going to be a little upset. I'm not going to lie
Really
about that.
ticked because
I
this
know.
has been an hour long.
It's been an hour, and
not
we're
an
trying to,
issue.
and I've been playing with it the last 2 nights here just to make sure everything's going well. So
What an absolute bummer.
thank you to all of the tech team, especially Amy Schultz, who did help us research and purchase the new cable that we
Yes.
connected from the camera to the computer. So actually, if you want, I will slide this microphone over to you.
Take this one. So
I'll take this guy.
as he gets over to his station, I will continue.
Here you go.
There you go. I'll continue what I was saying, which was basically just, so for the longest time, like, we knew and interacted with each other in, like, Bell's choir church and all that stuff. But I would say once you got back and we started like really interacting, and we knew that we were like super into like the same stuff now that we had like come into our adulthood. So like we really liked different stuff with like choir
absolutely.
and like bells, and then you had to join classical bells for a little while, so we'd go on all these.
I'm going to just put an asterisk on that. I actually subbed in classical bells
Yeah.
when my mother became ill.
Yeah, he
so
was a real
I was
champ.
never in not anything about the classical, but I just don't have the time to do it. I would love to be able to be part of it, but I was never a member.
It's a
actually.
huge, but you were a temporary awesome fill-in, and so yeah, we did some like solid road trips, and then like I think too, especially with this, like when I saw he was starting to like wanna start, like when we were doing the parking lot type stuff.
Have we told them the story of when we actually wanted to start the tech team? So
I don't know,
I-
but
real
either
quick-
way, long story short, we've really come into our like friendship, and we realize that we have so much in common in our adulthood, and it's just so funny because we're like type A in the exact same situations, but like in other situations we're like
Completely different.
You want to like eat pizza and like play cards.
that's true. We agree on most things.
Yes.
And then when we don't agree, it's fun.
It's yeah. But
It's
it's
fun.
also like it's
One of us
classic.
wins. It's not always the same person.
No.
So
But it's like that's exactly what you would expect though, and it's one of those things where it's like you know the other person so well that you're like, all right, okay, I see. Because there's just only very rare occasions where we think the same thing but are trying to get there differently.
I just found out why you were cutting out in this microphone a little bit. This battery's almost dead.
Oh, that'll do it.
We will change these batteries here shortly. Okay, so here is our lovely camera feed. But as I'm doing this, and again, if you get motion sick, I'm going to try to move the camera relatively rapidly, just kind of back and forth like this. So if that bothers you, just don't look at the screen, and then you can just listen to what we're saying. But the first time that we actually, I brought it to council, it was summer. It was summer of 2019.
Really?
It was. And I said, I think we should have a tech team because, let's be honest, those of you who've been here, we all know we don't really have that much technology here, or we didn't at that time. And the goal was to eventually start live streaming and eventually start figuring out, how can we upgrade our technology? If any of you remember, we used to, in this arch up here, hold on, let me try to hold the microphone and use both hands on the camera. Right up in here, we used to have a projector for the special Sundays. Amy Schultz would set up a projector by the organ. It would shine up there. It would look great. But to do that, what she had to do was ridiculous.
Yeah,
She had 3
100%.
different adapters. She had an iPad going out from a lightning charger into a USB. She had that converting over into another different kind of audio cable called a
What the heck is
what's
it
it
called?
called?
It's the really weird one with the screws.
It's the one with the screws. If you
Yeah.
guys remember the old computers, you plug in the monitor and then you screw in the 2 sides. I can't believe, if anybody knows what that's called right now, I believe it starts with
my
a V.
gosh.
I can't think of it, but she had to connect that. Before that, she had to download whatever she wanted onto a drive, put that drive, save it digitally, transfer that to the iPad, have 3 adapters to go to the screen, and then make sure that the screen worked with sound. And I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. So I was like, let's upgrade our technology.
VGA.
VGA, thank you very much.
You got it.
So in the summer of 2019, I was like, okay, we need to upgrade this a little bit. I asked council, can we start a tech team? They said yes. So I did. So I started asking people, and it took, I wasn't super great at I was busy. I wasn't super great at getting everybody together all at once. But we ended up getting 12 people, and our first meeting was January of 2020. And we were like, okay, cool, we're going to make a long-term plan. We'll figure out what we want to fix, this, that, and the other thing. We had some ideas. We had a lot of ideas. And then March came, and everything stopped.
No.
And we were like, oh, boy. So now we had to switch, and we had to go over to how do we live stream whenever we come back. So we did the research. We did this. We did that. We did the other thing. I'm going to take this one back, and you can have that guy. But it was amazing. So the speed of which that we actually set everything up, we were live streaming at our first service back in June, correct?
Yes, yeah.
That first service, let me tell you what it looked like. It was me on my phone, live streaming just to Facebook, and Amy Schultz on the iPad recording everything. So we had 2 cameras. Mine was the live stream, hers was recording, and then Amy Schultz would go back to her house Sunday afternoon, and it would take 9 hours. It would take probably about 1 hour to put everything together and like produce it, and she'd put some backgrounds in there and cut in and out and do that. But then it would take 9 hours to get that sucker up on YouTube. And that was what we did to start off with. We didn't have a computer. We didn't have a camera. We did the research and we bought what we needed, but excuse me.
This is going good so far.
But yeah,
Thanks,
that's
Ben.
so far so good. I was moving that pretty quickly.
You were.
And I was going up and down and all over the place.
I had to look
so,
away.
Yeah, I apologize if that made anybody say, oh yeah, we lost a couple viewers on that one. But my apologies.
That wasn't specifically that.
The brother
yeah.
you never hit? Yeah, that's
I
Gary's
know,
right
I saw that.
I mean, we do have a very sister-brotherly banter.
Yes.
Back and forth. We can both give each other, well,
we have
crap,
we
I
have
guess.
like yeah, but we have similar humor and just similar ways of interacting in both like productive ways and completely like hilarious, ridiculous ways as well. So it's pretty solid. It works really well.
I just want to say thank you. Oh, that was your microphone rubbing up against your mask. I was like, uh-oh, we have static. Yeah, that's what it was. I just want to say thank you. We've had a lot of people come and go throughout this, and I just appreciate all of you. I want to say thank you to Marie, thank you to Charlotte, thank you to Kelly, Michelle Kerner, Donna Pollock, Dave Sapala, Judy Judy Smalley. She's my own
Aunt
family.
Judy.
You think I get the name right. Aunt Judy. Regina Kerner, Kathy Zakora, Gary Messel, Luke Lee, Linda Braun, Joe Thompson. We appreciate all of you guys. Jane Kopp. Judy Green is watching now. Thank you for joining us, Judy. All we're doing right now, guys, is a live test. We have been live for
Over an hour.
an hour and 11 minutes. That's pretty crazy. If you watched our Mother's Day service, you noticed that the camera feed went out quite a few times. Every time you saw that beautiful flowery background that said Happy Mother's Day, we were freaking out behind this table because we did not have a camera feed to show you guys.
Man.
So we bought some new equipment, we spent some money, and we set it all up, and we decided we have to do a test because this is our third live test that we've done since the beginning of COVID, since March of 2020.
Yeah.
The first one was when we bought all of our new equipment. We didn't even test the phones or the iPad. We were just like, let's just go live.
Yeah, let's try it.
Yeah, let's see what we can do. I didn't even know what we were doing.
Mine died that one day.
Oh,
because it overheated.
The one day I decided not to use my phone, I wanted to go up north. I was like, you guys got it. It's fine.
It was so hot.
Amy uses her phone. It's probably 95 degrees
Oh,
this
gosh,
day.
yeah.
I picked a wonderful day to miss. And her phone overheats. And you know what happens when a phone overheats? It shuts off and the stream stops. So if any of you were watching that day, it was just a lovely service outside, and then boom. It's done.
I went out on the boat later that day, and it was worth it because it was so warm. And I was like, Alex is out there on the lake. I mean, you're probably in your hoodie and in the shade.
I was, yes,
but
still.
The summer, I just remember those were always a good time. And I remember I rocked up to the docks wearing at the very first one that we streamed, and we were in the parking lot with I didn't have like a regular camp chair. True, I do now, but I didn't have a regular one, so I just had those obnoxious like folding lounge chairs that are like the anti-gravity beach chairs.
Yes.
And I looked ridiculous in this parking lot,
That
like
seems like
leaned all the way back,
such a long time
listening
ago.
to Pastor Scott under this tent, and poor Alex is out here trying to find shade, trying to record this service.
By the way, I don't know if you guys know this. At 9:30 in the morning on Sundays in about June, there is no shade in that
No.
Market Street parking lot.
No.
None whatsoever. Any shade you had in the morning coming off of the Architect Building or the old firehouse right there, gone. Completely gone. So I don't handle sun very well. So that's why I was looking for shade. But yeah,
the
it was funny.
understatement of the
Let
year.
me tell you, the humble beginnings that we started when we were doing live stream, it's the leaps and bounds, and it's all due to the entire tech team. You know, I have to give everybody thank yous and everybody props because we could not have done it. Even if it was just the two of us, we could not have done it the two of us. It's not. All 12 people. We've actually had 14 members over the course of 2 years, consistently 12 at a time.
Oh, nice. I didn't actually know that.
Yeah. I got to thank them all. And Pastor Scott has been fantastic.
Dude,
The amount
seriously.
of stuff I have thrown at him, literally, it's almost like when he's doing a sermon, I'm like tossing stuffed animals at him. It's pretty much
truly.
like that. Because those first couple months, when nobody was in this church, you guys saw a nice, calm, cool, collected service. Behind the camera, I'm literally like running back and forth and trying to get this and setting up the TV and getting back over here and going over there. And then I got to do announcements and then we got to come back around.
Call your sister back.
Yeah.
She's calling you. Call her back.
Jackie's calling me right now. I'll call you back, Jackie, if you're listening. I bet she's not, but she's probably telling me that they got to the cottage okay. Mom and Jackie
Nice.
went up to the
They did
cottage.
go up this weekend. That's
Yes.
nice.
So, anyways, if you want, Facebook actually is the only place that you can see our original live stream from the phones.
Yeah. Yep.
On YouTube, you can go back and watch the Amy Schultz version, which, let's be honest, much better. It's produced. She cuts out all the awkwardness. She put a lot of work into them. But if you look at those, and if you look at where we're at now, and you watch this last week's Mother's Day service, or if you watch, any of this, I personally still love the Veterans Day service that we did last fall. It was wonderful. It was moving. It was touching.
Yeah, I love those. Shout out to Todd.
Absolutely. Todd Weiber, who plays the bagpipes, he was here again.
For the Donna Durr's funeral.
Oh, that wasn't a Sunday service. That was Donna Durr's funeral.
It felt like a Sunday.
It did. It felt like a full-blown service. That was fantastic, too. If you do want to see, that is recorded. Marge Mann does have the link to the Donna Durr funeral service, which is actually one of the highest performing videos that we have on there, too. But the way
Donna's a legend.
Oh, absolutely. She was almost 101 years old. She was 4 days shy. So... but that's something that we talked about as well at our last stream team meeting, is that we are going to be doing funerals for those who request it. So we've come up with a pricing structure, and we're going to print up some paperwork and things like that. But that is something that we're going to be offering in the future for anybody who needs it.
Because it's tough sometimes. Because sometimes with the funeral, it's unexpected sometimes.
People can't fly in. You don't if you got family across the country.
And then and if you got worries about like getting planes, sometimes are canceling this and that, and just concerns and money and stuff like that. So if we're able to give that as a service to people, we're absolutely more than willing if it works out that way. So we kind of have a plan.
If we're able to. If it's going to be in the middle of a day on a Wednesday when everybody's working, I don't know how we would make that work yet. But those are the things that we're trying to figure out. Those are the things that we are putting time and efforts into actually doing.
And it's really helpful that we have so many people on the tech team to be able to, like, if that could work out where, like, in the middle of the week. It's nice because lately the 3 funerals that we have done from a production standpoint have been ones that have kind of been, like, within, like, 2 to 4 weeks afterwards, and more of a memorial type service.
There's a little bit more of a planning.
So that was nice.
To do that.
So we had a little bit more time to plan and have more people on board, but it's just nice to have so many people on the tech team. I've even had some people come up to me in the last couple weeks, in the last couple months even, and just be like, hey, after Easter, I know Easter is a busy time. I'm willing to cross-train on the camera so that, just that way, like, some of us who are here all the time can just maybe have like a week off, or just have just an extra pair of hands, because, sometimes things just don't work out where all of a sudden you're like, oh, we don't have somebody to work the camera. And I remember one time we had my husband work the camera.
Yes, that's true. We did. We recruited.
And I just was like, I'm pulling Jeremy
you are
in.
Needed. Yes.
And then there was at one point where I think he was kind of like, it was getting pretty late in the service, and I was like, Jeremy, he's on the move. Jeremy, where are you at? And he was just kind of like, I don't know, like looking down at his like phone or his picking at his nails or something like that. And I just remember we had called him on the walk-in. We're like, Jeremy, Pastor Scott has gone all the way across the altar. Move the camera. And he's like, oh, sorry. And it was just really funny. But
I forgot about that.
That was so funny.
We were like, Jeremy, he's on the move.
But it's just been so helpful to have so many people who are willing to help. And we have a lot of like really, really awesome people. I know Charlotte just commented that. I appreciate your comment. But Charlotte's wonderful as well, and Charlotte just kind of came right in, and she's just like, sure, yeah, whatever you need. And then everything that we've ever needed from her has been done like phenomenally well, and then more. Like the pictures, weren't expecting those, And then those are
Fantastic.
awesome. And I want to look at the other ones that she took that she was saying about last night.
no, they're beautiful.
I'm gonna check those
Everything
out.
she does is beautiful. So
But definitely Scott has done a huge, and
That's what I
Angela
was
too.
doing.
Angela did a great
was
job. We
fantastic.
threw so many things at Angela when we were like, this is what we're going to do now. And so from a secretary standpoint, we need this, this, and this. And she just rolled with all the punches, and we gave
Yep.
her, I was really, I
she
put
never
that
missed
in the
a Sunday.
card.
I
and-
asked her at some point to start if she could start just typing up the words to the hymns.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause it takes a long time to make those hymn slides because they're different every week.
Yeah, like this. Do we have them up already for next week?
I have not changed them, but we have this week's titles with last week's verses.
Yeah,
that
so
might
we kind
work.
of have all of the words that pop up, and we try to make it so that it's easy to read and follow along with from home, because we know some of our peeps out here, like Miss Barb Vandekar, is out here reading and harmonizing these hymns from her living room. Girl,
Barb will
we
sit
know
down
you're-
and play the piano with us on the
Absolutely.
hymns and sing loud and proud. I love it. It's fantastic.
Barb's
but,
plinking them out.
But no, a huge thank you to everybody
Yeah.
who's gone into helping us do this. It's been an honor. It's been fun.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of tough times.
Yeah.
But honestly, at the end of the day, it's been a riot, and
It
it's,
has. This is a fun little corner, and I know Scott always
is.
gets he does a really good job of ignoring us.
He does now. He does now. At the beginning, it
At
was
the
hard
beginning, it
because
was
we were
tough.
doing this, that, and the
Yeah.
other thing, and it's hard not to just look over
And be
to
like,
see,
what are these
what are they
two
doing?
clowns doing over in this corner? What are they getting so frustrated about? But he's done a really, really good job. And he's very
Fantastic.
open to all kinds of new technology and
Be
just
nimble.
progressing and being forward and stuff like that. But definitely when things are going wrong or when we're just over in this corner, the room divider prevents other people from seeing us. But Scott can still see the ridiculousness that
He
sometimes
can. He
happens
can
in this
see
corner.
everything.
And he is
Sometimes-
just so nice to us too. Every idea we have, he's just so down for, and
Yeah,
he
he's
always
great.
asks how he can help. Oh, it's really nice. We have a
It's
really good
great.
team just
We
all
really
around.
do.
We're really, really,
We really
we're
do.
really
We're very
grateful.
blessed. So,
Yep.
okay, now one last question before we go here for tonight, because it is
An hour 20.
already almost
9:40.
quarter to 10 o'clock at night. And I still have to produce that video for Sunday.
Yeah, I know.
I might do that Saturday, to be honest with you. It's getting a little
Yeah.
late in the night here. I try not to stay till past 10. But I have one last question for those of you who are still with us online. My original goal was to go live here tonight and then go ahead and hide the videos so nobody can ever watch them again. Do you think that's a good idea, or do you think other people would want to see us banter for an hour and
my
a
God.
half? Should I keep it up, or should we make it private?
Because we don't know how entertaining or not we are.
I don't either. I don't know how well it'll go over.
Right.
Some people may be upset that we're here this late.
There was
a
a large amount of that pandemic where we were seriously sitting here just being like, we only interact with each other. And I
It's-
did have to go into work, but Alex was like, I literally only see you
Yeah.
because we just come here on Saturdays and nobody was in the sanctuary. And it was just so funny because I was like, good Lord, all I see is Alex.
All I see is Charlotte.
Hey, hi,
Charlotte
Charlotte.
says leave it up. What about the rest of you? Do you think we should leave it up? Do you think we should make it private?
Leave it.
Do you
Kelly
think
says
other
leave it.
people will want to see us banter
Banter.
for an hour and 20 minutes? I mean, it's not bad. It gives a little behind the scenes. How do we produce? How do we stream?
I don't think we swore.
This
That's
is
always.
me thinking back. I don't think so either. If you heard something, let me know. Throw it in the comments when you hear it if you're rewatching this.
I think we did sometimes.
But okay, we'll leave it up.
Sure. Why not?
Gary,
Have at it.
leave it up.
There you go.
There we
Michelle.
go.
There you
That's
go.
great. Yeah, if people
Okay.
want to watch it, they can watch it. If they don't want to watch it, they don't have to watch it. So, Michelle, Marie, Gary, Charlotte, thank you for staying
Thank
with
you.
us
Yeah.
actually the whole time. We've been live
I can't
streaming
believe
here.
it's been almost an hour and a
It
half.
does not feel it. We could actually do a
could
podcast like this
totally
because
do
we're
this.
just talking. None of
We
this
are.
was scripted.
No.
We about 5 minutes before we started, we're like, all right, what are we gonna do?
Wow, Linda Brown.
Oh, hi, Linda. It's so good to
Linda,
see you. We
hi.
miss you, Linda. But no, it's been great. If you have a chance to rewatch any of our videos, the one that's in the comments right now, what is it?
Oh, it's
Jesus
the
Saves.
Jesus Saves. Yeah, from March 7th.
No,
March
26th
20
from March.
March
Sometime
from
in
March.
I have no concept of time since March
I
of
don't
2020.
either.
None whatsoever. But no, we thank you all for hanging with us. Again, we couldn't do it without you guys.
Oh, gosh,
What
no.
is a live stream if nobody watches?
Right.
It's nothing.
It's awkward.
It's nothing. It's very awkward. Yeah, we're just sitting here talking to
We're
ourselves,
just talking
essentially.
to ourselves.
But no, it's been great. We love you all. We will be live streaming this Sunday and every Sunday starting at 8:55 a.m. That's when the 5-minute countdown starts. Announcement starts promptly at about 9 o'clock and 45 seconds because we have the little welcome to
Indeed,
church
yep.
video. which we do change, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Oh my gosh,
but
we
we've
love
used
this new
3 or
one.
4, and we use it for about 8 months at a time. But this new one we debuted on Easter Sunday. I really like it. It's got a nice beat. It's got a nice summertime feel to it. But anyways, we love you all. We will see you all Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. 8:55 starts the countdown. And we will see you soon. May God bless you all.